Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in once again. It is Andrew the Collector here with a update, or I should say a sad update for Tenpai dragons. First, before we get into it, please excuse my voice. I'm getting over on being sick. That's why, I haven't uploaded in a few days. But I had the chance, excuse me, I had the chance to take this version to locals, and I'm pleased to say I didn't do terribly. I did get third place out of, I think, 15 or 16 people there. So I did relatively decent. But, the limits definitely hurt this deck a lot. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and head right into it. So as you guys know, the ratio is 3 Hydra, 1 Chandra, and 1 Phaedra. I've always been a believer of 1 Phaedra is all you need, but having 1 Chandra is definitely hurting this deck. But yeah, this ratio shouldn't surprise you. I'm also running 2 Genroku along with 1 Doradora. I want to get a third Genroku and replace Doradora with it, but I don't have one currently. But yeah, I think that this ratio worked out for me. It's pretty much the only ratio you can run for the Tenpai main dragons. So yeah. And then 2 Blaster Dragon. This one was definitely interesting because if you open up 2 of these in your hand, you definitely have access to Chandra a lot easier, because if you have this and any of your Tenpai or Fire Dragons, you pitch these to pop one of their cards and then banish them in the graveyard to summon the second in your hand, and then Blaster's Banish effect will help you search out your Chandra from the deck to your hand, which is a great way to get to it. Plus Bysteel Magnamut to get to your Chandra a lot easier. Basically, the name of the game is to just get to Chandra as fast as possible, because it is definitely the best main deck one, which is why I got limited in the first place. And we're running 3 Kashtira Fenrir. I opted to take out Unicorn and the continuous spell, because while it did work here and there, a lot of the times when I would draw into the spell card, it was a brick. It was a massive brick. And I didn't like that. So I opted to put in 3 Fenrir, and it worked out. I liked this ratio a lot better. And then one of the MVPs is definitely Droll Knockbird, especially with Ryzeal. Ryzeal is just absolutely insane, but this card can single-handedly stop their plays. Along with Ash Blossom, you hit him in the right place, and it's really good. Along with 2 Kumungus, I put this in when I went to YCS Anaheim, and this card was such a saver, especially up against Ryzeal and certain things, because you just get rid of the problematic monster and you're good to go. And it's a level 7, so it can work out, And then my last main deck monster is 1 Melcharme Flossel. I'm only running 1 copy, mainly because I only have 1. But 2, it was a goodbye / Christmas gift from Scott the Fanatic. So, gory damn it, I'm going to run it in this deck, or run it in any deck that I can. So yeah, shout out to you, Scott. Thanks for giving me this. I didn't see it at all at locals, again, because I only ran 1 copy, but I'm sure if it came up, it would have been amazing. That's it for the main deck monsters. Let's go into the spells. Obviously, 1 came in and 1 Sangan Summoning, because we could only have 1. Having these at 1 and Chandra at 3 would have been fine, or vice versa, but having all 3 of them limited is what, brings this deck down a peg. But yeah, as you know, 1 of 1, because you can only have 1. The real MVP of this deck at my locals and at YCS Anaheim was Ultimate Slayer. This card is absolutely insane, this format. Being able to bounce back the Ryzeal Detonator, and then using the Xyz monster that you sent to the graveyard effect to target a card that they control and negate its effects, absolutely amazing. I love this card, and I actually bumped it up from 2 to 3, because I did run 2 of it at locals, and I loved it so much that I put in 3, because a lot of times it's not a brick. As long as your opponent has monsters that you can bounce back, it's never a brick, because you can use multiples in a single turn. It's not once per turn. A lot of people at my locals didn't even know that. Because I opened up 2 in my hand, activate 1, okay, bounce back 1, activate the other, bounce another back. You know, it's so good. 3 Regeki, 2 Lightning Storm, 2 Forbidden Droplets, usual going second cards, Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Terraforming, because we only have 1 and we want to get to Sangan Summoning as soon as possible, along with Pot of Prosperity to increase the consistency, along with 1 Golden Sarcophagus. If you open up Golden Sarcophagus and use its effect to banish Blaster, you get Blaster's banish effect to search out your Fire Dragon monsters. Really good. And then the last 3 cards in our deck are 3 literal hand traps of Infinite Impermanence. Real good. No to the extra deck, nothing here really changed. I'm running 2 Biden Dragon, 1 Transcendent Dragon, 1 Trident Dragon, Odd Eyes Meteor Burst. This card actually came up a lot more than I thought it would, mainly to just lock my opponent out of the battle phase with monster effects. It was so nice, especially during my Bysteel Chaos Dragon matchup that I went up against in Anaheim. 1 Black Rose Dragon is the best card in the entire game. Nothing can stand against it. And 1 Ruddy Rose Dragon, second best card in the entire game. Nothing else can stand up to it. 1 Black Winged Dragon to go in for time. I did go into this once at the YCS Anaheim. It was actually really good, and it actually won me the game. Samurai Destroyer for any Yubel matchups if Yubel is still running around. 1 Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. If you are going first, this is your golden ticket. To go into some other things, which we'll get into in the side deck. 1 IP, 1 Unicorn, because I don't have Little Knight. If you have Little Knight, replace Unicorn with it. And 1 Agulator. No, for the Ultimate Slayer. Same thing with Elder Entity and Tist. And then 1 Kashtira, Shangri-La. That's it for the extra deck. Nothing really standing out. Side deck. 3 Chaos Hunter. You guys are going to be thinking that I'm insane of using this and not Lancia against Malice, but hear me out. It's only affects your opponent, so you protects you against, not only prevents Malice from being able to make their plays, but also prevents stuff like Macrocosmos, Evenly Matched, their Kashtira monsters, stuff like that. And a lot of people give her grief because it forces you to summon her out and pitch a card from your hand. But with Tenpai specifically, you don't really care about that, because as long as you have a singular of a certain card in your hand, you can make a full play, which is why I opted to use her. Never faced Malice at all at YCS Anaheim, nor at locals, so I can't really give an accurate summation. This is only in theory, but I'm opting to put Chaos Hunter in here. 1 Kwakimu Dragio for, obviously for the Heavenly Spheres, because it does stop Ryziel a little bit because half of their monsters are light. Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood for time. Crossout Designator, obviously, for Dimensional Barrier and any of the hand traps that you're running. 2 different dimension ground. I opted to put this in instead of what was it? Shifter. Because while you can play through Shifter, you can't play it through easily. Check out my other profiles if you want a more in-depth talk about that topic. And then the last ones are 3 Solemn Judgment for when you are going first. And that is it for the profile, or update I should say, for Tenpai Dragons. Thank you guys for tuning in for another video. This is probably going to be the last Tenpai profile for a good while, unless, at least until the format changes, because I think that this deck is as good as it's going to get, at least in terms of what I've played. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. If you guys want to see any future videos or uploads or any video ideas that you'd like to see, please comment them down below, and we'll do our best to get them to you guys. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down below for notifications, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.